is crazy, guys. I might actually finish all 3 of my books in one night because I have just finished The Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson, and I'm going to review that one. And I am literally no more than 3 chapters from finishing every last word. So if you want to stick around, I'll have the book reviews up for both of them. Actually, this is a book review for Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson, and I'm gonna put one up for every last word because emotions, just emotions. This might possibly be one of the best books I've read all year. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay, for Confessions of a Murder Suspect, we follow Tandy Angel. Tandoori Angel is her alias, I think. Well, not alias, her real name. Tandy is the name everyone calls her. And she wakes up in the middle of the night to find her parents murdered. Cops banging at her door and her parents are murdered. And the thing is that no one broke and entered into the house. So it could be that either her or one of her brothers killed their parents, so you don't know in this book. I gave this book 7 out of 10 stars, mostly because it was slow to start, and other reasons for I don't want to spoil, but the ending was kind of like rushed and crap. It wasn't crap, but I'm just going like, really? What a cop-out. But, so that's all I could really say about getting spoilers for this book. If you haven't read The Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson yet, I advise you do before watching this review. But for all the people who want to stay, my spoiler section is coming up next before I wave goodbye to the non-spoiler people. So bye, people who don't want to be spoiled. Bye. Okay, going back to why this book is only 7 out of 10 stars. We'll start off with the characters, which there isn't that many. We got Samantha, Maud's personal assistant, and I'm over here going like, okay, so I didn't know that Samantha and Maud were a thing. I didn't know they were completely in love with each other, and, you know, they were getting it on, they were unfair with each other. I was just all like, okay, good for you two, but at the same time, I'm just over here going like, how could no one know that? How could no one see that between them? And then we have Malcolm and Maud, which are Tandy's parents. They don't really show up in the story because, of course, they're dead, but we do get to know them through Tandy's confessions and their stuff. And we see that they weren't perfect parents. Like, their kids looked up to them, yeah, but these parents are really, really fucked up. I mean, having your kids on drugs that you personally made yourself just to make them smarter, stronger, and who you want to be, that's just crap. And I really did feel sorry for them at the end. It was really beautiful how they... Okay, let's talk about the suicide, because that's what really felt to me that was a cop-out. I found it really sweet that they decided to die together, but at the same time, I kind of wanted someone to murder them, mostly because, you know, I spent all this book really intrigued about, oh, who could have killed them, and then turns out no one did. No one did. Everyone's innocent, and I just felt like that was a major cop-out. I know James Patterson is more for his surprise endings, and I'm just over here going like, this ending makes sense, but at the same time, I really, really wanted something to happen, and it didn't. So I'm just over here going like, okay, whatever. But that pissed me off, and I'll have that in the reasons why I don't like this book section. Let's go on to the kids, and I'll probably botch some of them. Okay, so we have Matthew, which is their older brother, I think. Let me look back here to see if I'm not getting him confused with the other one. Okay, I'm not. So we have Matthew, and of course, I'm just over here going like, what happened to Matthew, because in the ending, close to the ending, he's arrested for killing his girlfriend, his pregnant girlfriend, who wasn't even pregnant with his child. He was pregnant with, she's quote unquote pregnant with her father's child, his father's child. And I'm all going here like, I really wish that was solved, but I think this is just like book 1 in this series. I don't even know if it's a series. I think it's a series, actually. Because it says the conventions have only just begun. So I'm pretty sure this is a series, but at the same time, that was such a crap ending that I was all like, I'm not intrigued. I do want to know what happened to Matthew and what happened to Tamara, but at the same time, I'm just all like, whatever. And, yeah, that's all I can say about Matthew. He kind of annoyed me somewhat, but not too much. As for the little Harry was okay. I liked Harry. He was nice. And as for, oh god, I totally loved freaking, Hugo. He was like the comic relief to this story. Like, in every single book you have to have at least some comic relief, I think, because then if the story is too serious, it kind of drags, have you noticed? There's gotta be light, funny moments, and Hugo provided some of those, especially whenever he, like, literally headbutted a guy in the stomach for trying to say things to his brother and sister. That was cute. I liked Hugo, especially when he was climbing over on that ledge, and Tanny's like, you could have killed yourself, and he's like, eh. I could have gotten split on the payment too, but I didn't. And I'm like, that's funny. Okay. And then here we're arriving back at Tandy. Tandy is the main character, and at first I have trouble relating to her because she has no emotions, but in, like, the middle of the book, we see that it's not really her fault she has no emotions, it's the pills that her parents have been drugging her with. So we see, as she stops taking the pills her parents prescribed to her, we start seeing her more of her emotions, and now she's just really a teenage girl. And I felt really sad for these kids because these kids never really had a chance to be actual kids. They were just, I felt bad for them because I felt like they were just experiments most of the time, which they were. And I'm just over here going like, okay, well, that sucks. That sucks. It was very hard at first to relate to Tandy, and then whenever you get deeper in the book, she's more relatable. She has a turns out she had a crush on this one guy. Her parents made her forget about it. So I'd like to know more about that story. Hopefully in the next book, if I pick up the next book, it'll have an explanation for how they're so in love, because I'm like, okay, I get it. New guy, your parents are strict, cheese, your world, I get it. I get that feeling. I got that feeling sometimes when I was young too, and I'm just all like, okay, whatever. But as for Tandy, she was a good main character. I liked how she was all in her investigative style, and how her and her brother Harry actually ended up cracking this case. I liked that. I did. Okay, so we're to the section of things I didn't like about this book and things I did. Things I didn't like about this book is that they weren't loose ends, but they were kind of like, I know the story continues, but at the same time, I kind of wanted it to be a standalone. I didn't want it to be another book. Because I don't think they have enough of a sufficient story to make another book. But, it's James Patterson. I think James Patterson could write anything he wants to, and it'd still be good. Be good no matter what. But, I wanted this to be a standalone. I guess that was my problem with it. I wanted it to be a standalone. I wanted it all to be wrapped up in a nice, pretty little bow, but it wasn't. And I really didn't like the parents, like, punishing their kids the way they punished them, and punishing Tanny just because she had feelings for someone and she wasn't, like, their perfect robotic child. I didn't like that. I also didn't like their snotty-ass neighbor, even though I do like how he came to justice at the end of the book. It's all like, isn't he withholding police information? Yes, he was, so he should get punished for that. Hopefully he did. I didn't really know for sure if he did or not. Let's see, that's all I could say about things I didn't like about this book. It lagged a lot. I felt myself being incredibly bored, which is probably why it took me a while to finish this book. If it wasn't for my reading challenge that I made myself do, I probably would have never turned through the first, like, 90 pages of this book. Because it's not a big book. It might be 86 chapters, but it's the way James Patterson writes his books. So some of his books I've seen have 100 and something chapters, and they're like, the chapters are only like 2 to 3 pages long, so they're short chapters. So that's why it took me forever to finish this book. But as for things I liked about this book, I like how... What did I like about this book? I like the family dynamic going on, even if they were, you know, quote unquote, guilty of killing their parents. They still loved each other, and they still protected each other, and they still did whatever they could for their family, even though their parents were dead. It was a nice family dynamic, and it is a book that wasn't all centered around love, but it was more for love for your siblings and trying to find out what happened, and I like that part. As for that, I can't really say a lot about what I liked about this book, mostly because there wasn't very much I liked about it, hence the whole 7 out of 10 stars. I didn't really like this book, but I didn't hate it either. It was just okay to me. And as for the whole, would I like to see this as a movie? I think I would be more intrigued. Well, actually, no, that's another one. Favorite scene in the book? Yeah, I pretty much had to say whenever they're quote-unquote suspended from the school and Hugo just goes butting into someone, that's my favorite scene. And whenever, not everything that involves Hugo, but more like him stepping out on the ledge, trying to get into the neighbor's apartment, that was a pretty good scene. Would you like to see this turned into a movie? I think it would be better as a movie, actually. It wasn't, as for a book, I'm just all like, whatever. But there you guys have it. If you've read Confessions of a Murder Suspect, comment down below and let me know what you thought about the book. As for our video, just like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in my next book review because I'm so close to finishing every last word that I could taste it, and I'm not gonna go to sleep until I do. So thank you guys for your patience with my reading this, and I'll see you for next book review. Bye!